I think there's an ongoing responsibility for government ministers to constantly re-articulate why we are there, what it's about and what we're doing, particularly when there is a loss of British lives. I do believe this is fundamentally about making Britain safer. We need to think back to 2001 when the Taliban were controlling Afghanistan, huge numbers of terrorists being trained in terrorist training camps. Were we to withdraw tomorrow, I have no doubt in time the Taliban would come back and you would create that safe space again for Al-Qaeda and terrorists to target this country and others. But we need constantly to be communicating that effectively. Well, look, there's been a lot of misreporting about this case. And again, that's why, as ministers, we need to be constantly explaining what we're doing. This is about stopping an injustice to the most seriously injured. It's also about clarity. If you look at the tribunal ruling, it is not at all clear what it means on the nature of physical disorder. And in those circumstances, we would find it virtually impossible to implement his findings. Nobody would want that state of affairs. So it's about stopping an injustice to the most seriously injured. It's about the principle of the ruling, but nevertheless, at the same time, because we are always seeking to do our best by our service personnel, we've brought forward the overall review of the compensation scheme from next year to start now, and the outcome of that review will be retrospective. This has been extraordinarily challenging, and we have hugely regrettably lost British troops, and nothing I can say or do will compensate the families and friends who've lost their loved ones, and I think we're enormously indebted to those service personnel. But we have, through Operation Panther's Claw, achieved a significant tactical success. 80,000 people who previously were terrorised and intimidated by the Taliban can now live under the authority of the state. But, and this has been the crucial debate this weekend, you can't just leave it at that. Yes, the overwhelming focus of our strategy is security related, but if you don't follow through and actually improve the governance environment and the delivery of basic services, then you will not sustainably remove the Taliban from that area, and you run the risk that people, ordinary Afghans, in desperation will look to the Taliban again for a solution. The Prime Minister has rightly said that we will review the situation after the elections. That's the next big challenge, and we will carry out our responsibilities. This is not a government that has shortchanged the armed forces. If you look at the expenditure, if you look at the equipment, it's the best that it's been probably since the 1980s. And yes, we will look at these issues again, and we keep them under review.